Happy Valentine's Day,
Woo!
everyone. Woo! It is a day of love, a day of friendship, and we are here on a mission. We have a new time just for this week, 6 p.m. Central. Hi, everyone. Veda is here with me with the best sweetheart background ever.
Yes, quick little plug for me.
Go
I'm
ahead.
actually going to be doing a Valentine stream. Well, I mean, I don't know what's Valentine's about. A stream on Valentine's Day, right after I'm done here at twitch.tv/Veda Scott. So I was trying out backgrounds, and I think this is the winner, maybe.
I love it. I love we'll talk about our favorite candies eventually, but sweethearts I feel like have always been a hit or miss.
Yeah, they're sort of like a more decorative candy, I think,
Mhm.
than actually like one that people eat. But I assume that like with a lot of candies like that, if you like them, you really like them.
I know. Well, there's two different types of sweethearts. There's like the chalky sweetheart and there's like the sweet tart, which is more of like
That's more like
the
an actual candy,
that's an
right?
actual yeah. So it's an actual sweet tart candy, like kind of
Right.
the sweeties style.
So I think the conversation hearts, the ones with like the
Yes.
words on them are inedible. But again, I am more decorative than anything, but I'm also someone whose, like, absolute favorite candy in the entire world is black licorice, so I understand that, like, there are lots of, very maligned candies, and somebody loves them. So, I like a lot of unpopular flavors, someone out there really loves the hearts.
I love it. I mean, let me know in the chat what candies you guys love. We're gonna have some little Valentine's Day fun questions, not quite trivia, but kind of get some interactions in the chat. And so we are coming off Kickstart My Heart, which is a perfect show for Valentine's Day. And I know many of you have not necessarily watched it on Title Match Network yet, but we did hit a record high on Title Match Network on Saturday. Over
Amazing.
4,000 people at one time were watching from all over the world, which is amazing for a show like Mission Pro to have that many people. So
Absolutely incredible.
we were so excited. So many of you watched, and many of you are catching up. So what Veda and I are going to do today is we're just going to talk about some of the big moments, the big matches. We might not cover everything because, we want to let you all make sure you watch the show, and we don't want to give away too many spoilers. But some of these big moments, I think, are really fun, really important, and there was some crazy, crazy moments and matches that I can't wait to talk about. I see so many people in the chat. Thank you all so much for
Yes.
joining. This is amazing. Veda, you have so many supporters in the chat here.
Yeah, and
Some
I'm happy that people are turning out. We had a slightly different time, like we said. I think this is probably going to be this week only that we're going to be at this slightly earlier time. But it's cool to see people turning out. And also, I'm seeing West Side says M&Ms are their favorite candy.
Oh,
That's
all
a good
right.
choice.
That is a good choice. Did there were some Super Bowl candy ads, and then also the M&Ms. Like we got to know what colors you guys choose too. For Valentine's Day, you can get them custom. You can get custom messages on your M&Ms.
So that is a vast improvement over the hearts, right? Like
Yes.
you like an M&M with words on it, I that someone might actually eat and enjoy. No offense to people who love the hearts, but I think that's a real improvement over the little chalky bits.
That's true. I mean, everyone it's just like Valentine's Day kind of has mixed reactions to with everyone, like candy. It's always everyone has different feelings of different candies. Um yeah, so thank you all so much for joining in the chat. And if you guys are super vocal, so this is one more thing. If everyone's vocal in the chat and we'll pick Veda and I will vote, I guess. And we'll pick the person that's the most excited, the most interactive, because we have a few Valentine's Day Mission Pro gifts from our show on Saturday that
Woo!
I can send out to you all if you guys are super fun and interactive, which we love. Speaking of candy, it's lots of candy. Awesome. So, you guys, just as a reminder before we dive into this amazing show that happened, remember you can watch it on Title Match Network, and we have our next show, which is April 22nd. We already announced it, and tickets are on sale. And it's Mission Pro Wrestling's Edge of Glory. And I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah,
So that
and
one's
it
already dropped.
too. The poster came out too, and there's a lot of faces I'm excited to see at Mission Pro.
Oh, there's a lot of debuts a lot of people that we have not had at Mission Pro Wrestling before, and they're coming. They're coming to Mission Pro. So we're gonna talk to them here on a Mission every Tuesday. So follow Mission Pro Wrestling for all of those, all the socials and all of those announcements. Um, yes, Michael is always such a huge supporter. I bought a whole backpack of candy to kickstart my heart for Emmy, Maddie, Jasmine, and Ultraviolet. And I saw so much candy get circulated. Um, we appreciate that, John. I love MPW for life. We appreciate that. So I'm gonna kind of jump into the show, Veda, and I know everyone's catching up, but we had an amazing started off with a pre-show. We had the Hybrid School of Wrestling had a four corners tag match, and we had the Karate Kids versus Eric Walker and Zakai Living versus Brandon Weiss, Devin Carter, and again versus the Texas Street. So we had some students in there versus the coaches, which is always a really fun dynamic. And
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
and,
so
like, the relationship with Hybrid Pro too has been super cool to see. I'm sure over time more and more people will either come from there, and it's always nice to have wrestling training centers that are sort of in partnerships with wrestling promotions, because a lot of times I can speak to this. A lot of times when you're a pro wrestler and you're traveling and you come into town, you want to train with new people, you want to meet new people, and it's really cool to always know that there's a place that is tied in with Mission Pro.
yeah, exactly. I mean, Hybrid. We have a great partnership with them, and like we help set up the venue and ring on Friday. They help like be security or help with merch, and they try to understand how to do and put on a wrestling show from different areas, and you have to
Mhm.
do that. Like you can't necessarily always wrestle because you might not always be ready yet. So a lot of these students are learning how to do everything. And so what I loved is like we started the show. Really just trying to get the energy of the crowd up. We started to, and everyone loved this. It got everyone pumped up and ready, and that's what really you need. And that first match is actually really difficult.
Yeah.
You got to get them really excited, get everyone on board with what's going to happen. So I felt like this was kind of that perfect one to kickstart everything. I keep making that joke all weekend. I was like, we're kickstarting. Yeah, and what I loved is like we also got to see some pairings. Like we're seeing these new tag teams kind of form in hybrid, these new alliances, and I like this. I like what they're doing.
Very, very cool, and it's awesome too when you're, you know, wrestling on a show and maybe you aren't that first match, maybe your second match, third match, and like you're standing backstage and you feel the energy coming up in the crowd. It's so like it's a huge responsibility, like you said, to be that first match. So, you kind of set the tone for the rest of the
Yeah.
show, and it's really cool to hear that went well.
Yeah, you do. So this is if you guys have not if you guys have not watched it, here's the Four Corners tag team match. Go back and watch it. I mean, we can give you spoilers here, but yeah, go back and watch it. Do you guys want spoilers? Let us know in the chat.
No, well, unless it's important, unless it's
There,
like,
there's a few that I will say because it's important, but
yeah.
go back and watch this one. I think it will surprise you a
Well,
little
and
bit.
sometimes knowing who won a match isn't necessarily the most important part. It
That
can't
is
tell you the
true.
whole picture too. So you gotta watch it.
All right. Give us some, maybe you can expand on that in a little bit as we get
Yeah.
through, get further into everything. Um, awesome. So there was a big moment. So we've had, I don't know, Veda, if you've seen, so JP and JPA Academy, he's been, the past couple weeks, he's been putting out these promos. He's had this men's revolution meeting. They're building their new lair and, under construction, their boys club, right? With their like no girls allowed sign. So JP, Lexi, our wonderful ring announcer, is trying to kickstart the show, and JP comes out and interrupts her, and JP and Joey and Boss Baines. So he comes out and does this really big, you know, again, being JP, comes out and is making a statement. He's saying that he's taking over and that it is the era of the Mission Bro and not Mission Pro.
Again, and already we had that main event scheduled, so
Yes.
couldn't
So
wait. Couldn't wait a couple hours.
no, and I see a lot of people are not. Yeah, JP Harlow is the absolute worst.
Ha!
Boo, boo, Boss Baines. That is true. So there was a lot. JP, yes, you did get called out. JP did call you out. So there was a lot. Already there was tension. So we start off the show. There's tension between Men's Revolution and the women because what happens is Jasmine, Maddie, Roche Chanel, Bougie Reality, and the whole locker room clear out. And this is a statement. They clear out. They're not saying like they want to shut JP up because it's not. This is a movement bigger than JP and whatever he wants with his Men's Revolution.
Well, yeah, and also there's a whole freaking show that has to happen. Like, yuck, boo. I'm booing. Boo.
Boo, boo. Yes, Neil, happy Valentine's Day. You can see we are
We're
in
not
the spirit.
booing. We're not booing you, Neil. Sorry.
No, we're not booing you, Neil. It is the crowd was booing so loud. Yeah. You couldn't hear JP talk. That is true. They were booing very loud. So again, Veda, we start off with this huge moment where the women are making a statement, coming out and saying, you know what? And then they get booed off. Like they clear. You guys have to go watch this because this moment was really big. They clear, right? And now and then we have to get to the show because that's why we're here, right? We're here. We need to do this show. So we had talked to Ultraviolet, and she was one of the first matches we got to see. So I'm going to pull up our little graphic. So we had Ultraviolet versus MJ Santana. And I have to say, Ultraviolet, she just shined in this match. Have you seen her gear?
Yes. She is like, it's very, very unique and very much her. Like, she has her whole look together.
Her look was so together, and she told me she'd bedazzle because you don't realize, like, I saw it up close and I saw every little detail, every little bedazzle, and she does it herself.
It takes forever. So I don't do bedazzling, but I've been in many a locker room as someone like, if you are the bedazzler, then people hire you to do it. I'm sure you've been in locker rooms where you see people doing that on gear and it just takes forever, but looks so good.
It looked so good. And I have to say, this was her debut. And we always say that the Mission Pro fans are amazing. And they are. And they were. And MJ's a regular, like we talked about. MJ's been here a few times, has had a great few matches. And I feel like this was a really great pairing. And Ultraviolet really shined. I mean, both did, but I feel like Ultraviolet stepped up and really just kind of showed everyone what she had.
Again, with like such a stacked show like Mission Pro, it can be a little bit intimidating in terms of like hard to make an impression because there's just so much talent. So for you to say that, I'm sure that like she really, really stood out. She always does. She's great. I actually think her we had mentioned before that she had just been coming from Dark tapings when we interviewed her.
Yes,
I think
and then it just aired
tonight. Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
I think it's like now.
Now it's happening right now. Yeah. So go watch it.
Yeah. So if you became a fan of Ultraviolet this past weekend, go check her out on Dark.
Go check her out. I know. I just saw that announcement. I know she was like hinting at it when we talked to her.
Yeah.
But now it actually is official. So you can go and see her on Dark, which is really exciting. And Michael, I really like this nickname. And I don't know if you meant to do that, but Ultraviolent was great.
Wow, so that's like when she, is in like a big feud and has a huge like hardcore no DQ match.
Yeah, I really like this. I feel like she could use her bedazzler in her.
Oh my god, and like the rhinestone your face.
Yeah. And I loved meeting her. I did treat her to some delicious Texas barbecue. She got her Texas barbecue, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not going to eat that much." I'm like, "Oh no, yeah, you will.
You try it. Just try it."
I was like, "Try it." I was like, "Order a bunch," and I look over and it's like gone. I'm like, "Oh yeah." A great little behind the scenes story there. MPW does a great job of showcasing young talent and constantly bringing in new people. That's what we strive to do. We really strive to do that.
Well, and, like, when we just saw the latest show, the show for April was announced, a number of people who are debuting, and we're talking, like, serious names in pro wrestling all tweeted, "Finally making my MPW debut,
Yeah.
finally making Mission Pro." Like, it's become a goal to wrestle for Mission Pro.
It is. It is on many people's bucket lists. And so, if you guys have not seen the poster and show date has been announced for April 22nd, and there are some really exciting debuts and obviously some returns. So go check it
Mhm.
out and go. All of our information is on missionprowrestling.com. Welcome everyone in the chat. And as a reminder, the person that is, I have three VIP special Valentine's Day treats. So if you all are most active in the chat, you will get a special Mission Pro Wrestling Valentine's Day treat.
Wow.
So you guys, it's next to me. I want to give them away to you. So be excited in the chat. And Veda will and I will decide. Yes, front row. What an amazing weekend. So yeah, so I'm gonna get into the next like nitty-gritty kind of like really exciting match, which I was so excited to see. So we had Vicious and Delicious debut. Let's pull up the graphic. You gotta show it. So Vicious and Delicious. So we had Claudia and Shiva debut against Gigi Ray and Lady Bird Monroe, and they are officially the Money Birds.
I saw that. I love it.
Do you love that name?
I love it.
I love it too. And they wore gold, they were shining, and it was such a fun match. So again, we talked about how we have, Claudia and Shiva, Vicious and Delicious are like these veterans in the ring, and then we have these new up and coming tag team, now the Money Birds. And Gigi and Lady Bird are now best friends after coming here, doing a seminar with Thunder Rosa and Mission Pro Wrestling, and they've created this huge bond now, and now they're best friends, and now they're this tag team.
I saw that. I think it was Gigi who tweeted it. And I mean, I knew that they had amazing in-ring chemistry. I knew that they were teaming. I didn't realize that they had developed this friendship outside of the ring, and that makes me think that they're going to be really successful as a tag team because I don't know, you need that little bit of chemistry.
You do. And if you did not hear, or if you guys are still rewatching things, this was officially announced as a #1 contender match
Ooh, okay.
for the Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships. So the winner of this will go on to face Bougie Reality, our
That's
Mission
pretty
Pro Wrestling
cool.
tag teams. So if you guys have not watched, please go back and watch. I'm sure you will see all the teasers and the spoilers on
Yeah,
on Twitter.
some folks are tweeting about it, but we'll
Some
let
people
you
are
watch.
tweeting about it, but I think both tag teams had a lot to say this weekend. And did you all see that amazing photo of all three of these tag teams together? I think Shiva posted it, and I was like, oh, we have a legit we have a legit tag team division here at Mission Pro. It looked like, oh, there's a lot of star power in this picture.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you aren't, officially the #1 contender, that doesn't mean that, like, you're not gonna try to move up the ranks a little
Oh,
bit, so it is very cool to see more and more tag it's cool to see more and more tag teams, women's tag teams in particular, in general, in independent professional wrestling, and it's just there's a lot of teams out there now that are starting to, do more matches together. I'm so excited to see. I'm sure eventually they're all gonna end up in Mission Pro too because, well, we'll see how Bougie Reality does next time against the new #1 contenders, but they're a pretty established tag team.
I mean, they are, I think Brian retweeted some old clips of kind of their first few matches as a tag team, Bougie Reality, and they've grown so much, and they are, I think, the biggest team right now in Texas. So the biggest tag team. So
Very cool.
they're going places for sure. All right, so we have tag team action happening. And then the next match that I wanted to bring up, and remember everyone, as a reminder, you can watch this on Title Match Network. So a lot of people are catching up because there were shows on Saturday and Sunday, And so go back and watch and let us know, tag us, let us know your feedback. So the next match, we're gonna talk about. We had Tiffany Nieves versus Alejandra Lyon, and I've spoken to Tiffany a lot. She is really a growing star here at Mission Pro and across Texas. And then Alejandra Lyon is a regular. She's going to be on the April show as well. And this was again, this was a this if you go back and watch it, this was just a mean fight. There was just some feistiness here.
I could see
that
that. I could see that. I mean, I've known Alejandra for a long time, and she is tough, like tough, tough, scrappy, I think is the word that I would use. And I think she brings that out of a lot of her opponents too, that fight.
Yeah. And one of the big things, front row, Tiffany Nieves has it. Superstar on the rise. Bob brought up Tiffany did have a pre-match promo, and talking about how she's a fighter. She's fought above and beyond, and it really kind of hit it hit really hard, I think, for audiences, and I think it hit close to home for many people. And then it went into this like really epic kind of brutal fight. I feel like Tiffany got the crowd on her side early on with that, and so Alejandra had an uphill battle with that one. So Michael, I love the Tiffany match. It could go either way. They need a street fight. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Do you think? Who would Tiffany face, you guys, in a street fight? I want to know that.
Or would it have to be Alejandra? Would
Or
they
would
need
it
to
have to
have
be
some kind of
Alejandra to get a rematch?
Yeah.
It was an epic match. True. And then Front Row says Bougie Reality is super over. Long merch line. That is true. That merch line went on for days.
Again, Mission Pro fans are the best. We've been telling every single person who comes on the show, make sure bring your 8x10s, bring your t-shirts because people want to support you.
And Moneybirds covered up Bougie Reality shirt on our photo at intermission. How dare them cover up Maddie? Well, Michael, don't wear a Bougie Reality shirt. I know you're one of their biggest supporters, but you can't take a picture with the Moneybirds and not expect some reaction. Yes, a rematch. All right. Well, maybe it's in the future. I don't know. We had, just like with any wrestling show, there's always, card is subject to change. And the original match, it was going to be Cio Nieves versus Emmy Camacho. We had a quick change. Unfortunately, Cio was unable to attend the show, and we found this amazing talent, and Emmy Camacho faced Uju in this match coming out of intermission. And this is a new talent that came. She's drove in from Houston, and this was, again, two people that are up and coming. They're learning, they're training, and Emmy Camacho, she really proved herself in this match because she has been wanting. She's been wanting some wins at Mission Pro, and she's been wanting to make a bigger statement. She always makes a statement, and I felt like had this moment of that little spark on Saturday. Like when you're watching, you see someone like finally they get something, like something clicked. And I feel like even though this was a change and things happen, and she went in there and she really showed, like Michael says, that this is her era. This is the Emmy era.
Yeah, well, I actually know Uju, and it's a huge opportunity, and I know it wasn't like a step down for Emmy, and I'm sure she realized that pretty quickly. And I'm wondering if maybe what you're talking about, that spark was, when you have a scheduled match and you train for it and you study for it, we've talked a lot about tape study
Yeah.
on this show, and then it changes. You have to you're now you're in the deep end. You have to completely especially if it changes last minute and you don't have the opportunity, to plan anything and to study your opponent. And now suddenly you just have to go in all heart and just figure it out and figure out how to beat this person. And I think sometimes when you let go of maybe the plan, this goes for life too. But when you let
Yeah.
go of the plan, really big things happen. And I wonder, I've seen it happen tons of times where someone just shows out in an unexpected opportunity. So I wonder if that's what happened with Emmy. It's really cool to hear.
Yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys thought about this match, because it really, I felt and Uju just she totally stepped up. She stepped up and was given this opportunity and really was like, "This is my moment." And she has this amazing look, and this was the first time I've met her, and I had to look up kind of some of her matches and other things that she's done, and so
Just incredibly, incredibly, confident and
so
incredible present,
confident.
and, you wouldn't know that she is you would think she's more experienced than she is when you watch her because she is just, and I think too, stepping into, again, an opportunity that you didn't expect to have and having confidence and just, walking in you're gonna own it. I think that that probably made Emmy step up too, so, maybe it's unfortunate that things had to change, and I hope everyone is alright, but sometimes cool things can happen when we gotta go with it.
And sometimes and it puts everyone kind of on blast, you kinda have to be on your toes and be ready for anything, and that's maybe that was, the energy I was feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, Uju was gonna be a force once she gets more experience, totally, it just takes time and, she's still training and still doing her thing, but I know that, get just like we've given chances on and grown Roche and Maddie and Jasmine and all of these amazing amazing women that we see have grown so much. It all starts here, and that's what Mission Pro is about. Is you have your one moment, and you just continue to grow, and it's just a seed, right? And then it grows into a giant flower, and then a forest, and you got you know, a whole thing from there. um, Bob says, "Great to see Emmy close out a great win against a very impressive opponent." That's true. That's what I was talking about. That there was this moment where it just finally was this encapsulating moment that really was really cool. Um, so kind of going back to um, the show, and let's talk a little bit about what happened before the show. Um, m- it was a really unfortunate event. So Vicky Dreamboat, which we've spoken to, and
Yes.
she's been amazing, and we were so excited to have her. And we welcomed her. We welcomed her to the Mission Pro Wrestling locker room. And if many of you saw, we posted it on our social media accounts. But she was unfortunately attacked by Misty Marks on her way to the locker room. So she was attacked by Misty Marks, who is a Texas native here, and she was not happy that Vicky was coming from out of town. And so if you guys have not, it's a very unfortunate moment that happened. And so if you guys have not seen that, you can unfortunately go back and see what happened. But Misty attacked her, and I have to talk to management and see if there's going to be some reprimanding of that moment. But Misty um, took Vicky's spot in the match against Danny Moe. So later in the night, we had a match against Danny Moe and Misty Marks. And Misty came out and took the mic and had a promo and talked about how she's tired of everyone not paying attention to her. And for her, um, she's tired of seeing people coming from out of town in order to get a spot here at Mission Pro. And she was like, "I want my spot." And she did it in a way that I don't think is the right way to do it. I think there's a better way to do it than by attacking other people. But it unfortunately happened, and she demanded that match. And so she fought Danny Moe on Saturday. That was the drama, Veda. You missed all the drama.
Well, and, like,
Um,
as we just saw with Uju, like, there's things happen. Sometimes there's a time for everything, and I'm pretty sure that, like, had Misty had a little more patience, things would have been worked out for her eventually. I mean, I don't know. It's not what you like to see.
but I do have to give a huge shout out, and from someone, Veda, from someone that does amazing commentary. Vicky agreed. She was like, "Hey, I'm going to do commentary for you guys. I can't really move." She injured herself pretty significantly from that attack, so she was like, "I will. I'm here. I will do commentary." And like Neil said, Vicky Dreamfield was great on commentary. She um, was there with Walker and Michael and called those matches. And obviously, it was she did not call the Danny and Misty match. It was too difficult. She was really like she called pretty much the first part of the show and was needed to take a break. She was really having some tough injuries there. You know, like I think the adrenaline was keeping her going a little bit. But I have to give a shout out to Vicky um, for really stepping up, still putting in her work at Mission Pro. And we got to figure out what to do with Misty.
Yeah, and I mean, at least now everyone watching still kind of got to meet Vicky and, at least hear a little. And she's so much personality that I'm sure
So
that
much
you
personality.
could get a feel for Vicky, and honestly, it makes the anticipation even more, I think, for finally seeing her in the ring.
And Vicky was very nice that I got to play with the bubble machine. That was my favorite part. Can I say that was my favorite part? Bubbles. How can you not like bubbles? Yeah, Front Row says props to Vicky for crushing it on commentary. That is true. She crushed it. And then Front Row says Danny Moe's so nice until the bell rings. She's intense. That is true. Danny Moe has such a presence, like before the bell rings and after. And Danny Moe was not having this. Like she said, wait a second, Misty, you're coming in here causing all this trouble for no reason. And Danny definitely showed Misty what she was all about because she's out of town too. She's not from
Yeah.
Texas. And she's like, wait a second.
Well,
So
and Misty almost ruined Danny's big match too.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Danny is such a unique wrestler too. So much of her offense and so much of what she does is just so unique to her, and she's just a really special talent. I'm glad everyone got to see her wrestle.
Yeah, and I know people are bringing up. I tried to help. I tried to help Vicky, but that door was very stubborn, and it wasn't quite working. So I apologize to Vicky. We're on good terms. She let me play with her bubble machine. Um, but yeah, I really wish her well and hope she's doing okay. Um, yeah, but she did amazing on commentary. So yeah, that was so go. So if you guys want to go back and watch Danny Moe versus Misty Marks, you can watch that on Title Match. And that was our semi-main event, and then our main event was again we had the Men's Revolution versus Bougie Reality and Jasmine Allure. So we had Joey Hyder, JP Harlow, and Boss Baines, and there are only so many words I could. I don't even know the words to describe this main event match. The only the only thing I can say is it might be one of the best main event matches at
Well,
Mission Pro.
it had so much behind it, like so much animosity, but also so much talent. And then, as you said, I'm sure that all of that happenings at the beginning of the show just added to the intensity. I mean, you figure it was already like just there was already so much going into this match, so much trash talking, so much personal issues. And then basically JP Harlow hijacks the show that, like, I don't know. I'm sure that was like in the locker room. That had to be just like difficult to even get through the rest of the show. Like they were ready to fight, I'm sure.
I
But
mean, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's there. The tension was there because we not only had kind of we had the moment with Vicky happening and Misty, so we had like that attack happen, and then JP thinks he can come in and say, "Hey, it's going to be the era of Mission Bro," And meanwhile, all the women empty out and say, no, that's not the way it's going to be. And this is one of those matches that you have to like go back and study, because everyone had their yeah, yeah, front row. Everyone had their moment to really just like try to get in there. And like I I there's so many, like, I don't know. I it was so overwhelming.
You gotta watch it.
You watch it, but let's talk about this front row. Can we talk about Roche with that hot tag? She wrecked house. There was so many things. Like I was a little worried for Jasmine there for a while, because she was taking such a beating, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here. Westside says, how is JP the man of Mission Pro and hasn't beaten Casey yet? Just asking. That is true. Casey holds the Mission Pro Cup. Front row, Maddie beat the hell out of Joey Hyder. That is true. So there was a ring post moment with Joey Hyder that every boy and every man would be very upset about.
Well, and we talked about this when we were previewing the show last week, that Jasmine and Bougie Reality truly are, they're the pillars of Mission Pro. They're really just the backbone of Mission Pro. Like, when you think about Mission Pro, that's the faces you think of. And I think they take that responsibility very, very seriously. So even when they don't necessarily always personally get along, like, they can come together for this. And this was bigger than that. And it was about Mission Pro. And I'm excited to watch the match back, and I'm excited to see that, because it was like very, very, very personal.
Yeah, I won't give too much away, because I know others are catching up, and some watched it Saturday, some are watching it this week. But the women came together, but there was also moments where everything might not be so fine and
Uh-oh.
supportive. So just keep that in mind, that like we're all about like everyone coming together. But you'll
Ooh.
see. You'll see. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, Michael, I know, Michael, you are complaining about your seat near Boss Baines was in the corner. You can blame us. That's okay. Blame Mission Pro Management. Got to check out his wrestling boots, though. That is true. I mean, we have no control where everyone goes and what they're doing, and Baines and Hyder, they were like harassing kids and like yelling at them. And I do have to say, there was this moment where the referee took away Roche's bag,
Oh, no.
took away the one thing that she's always had. And I have never heard a crowd yell and be so mad. I feel like this was like the shovel situation almost with Simon Miller. I was like, shovel Roche's bag. I was like, uh-oh, what's happening here? Let's see. Michael May says, Boss Baines spent more time on the floor than in the ring. Well, those girls, made that happen. Yes, Joey started singing soprano after that ring post move.
So pretty much, if you haven't watched it yet, you gotta watch it. If you
Jasmine, yeah.
if you were there, it's probably worth it to rewatching, because think about it, if you were there, you missed Vicky on commentary. You gotta check it out. It's always fun to rewatch a show, I think, after I've been there live, because sometimes there's little things that you missed that you didn't notice because you were maybe paying attention to something else. And a lot of times when you're there live, you can't hear the commentary. And of course, for me, that's
Exactly.
important. But yeah, and sometimes there's other little surprises that you didn't know about. So check out the replay for sure.
Exactly. And like there's Vicky, has a such a amazing background in improv. So like just thinking about that, just knowing that, you got to listen, because she's hilarious on commentary. Yes, West Side. Yeah, I started the give her the bag chant. So that's the chant that the crowd started chanting when Roche could not get her bag. And there's a shot of Roche full on tears in the corner, just crying.
Well,
Her teammates trying to console her.
it's like another limb for
Yeah, I mean,
her.
it's like
It's
an
just attached
extension.
to her arm.
Baines was told the result when he woke up after the match.
Well, I
Wow.
am very excited for everyone to catch the replay, and I'm also super pumped that now that Kickstart My Heart is over, we can start the build up to the next show, and that is pretty exciting
Exactly.
too.
Exactly. April 22nd, we have Edge of Glory in San Antonio, same location, and we will be getting some special guests on every Tuesday on a Mission. We're going to get those debuts first. We're going to get those people coming in, and we'll have great conversations. And I'm excited to welcome a whole new slew of talent to Mission Pro Wrestling. And yeah, thank you all so much for all of your support. There's amazing sponsors in the chat that supported us on Saturday that continue to support us. Thank you so much for sponsoring individual wrestlers. That helps us support them while they're here and get them everything they need for the show. And again, thank you for watching on Title Match, for buying merchandise, for buying wrestler merchandise, for buying Mission Pro merchandise, which we do have new merchandise, which we were so excited to
Woo!
share with you all this past weekend. And yeah, get those front row tickets. Those are available, and those are a great deal. You get, as you said, you heard from Michael, you heard from everyone in the chat. It's a great deal to get those. Yeah, front row is already singing some Lady Gaga because we are on the edge of glory. So yeah, you guys, we didn't want to give away too many spoilers from Kickstart My Heart, but if you guys have not watched it, please go do Title Match Network. But before we head out and have all of our Valentine's Day celebrations, if you are celebrating with friends or family, I wanted to get some fun questions in for the
Yes.
chat and for you, Veda.
All right.
So, what is your go-to romantic comedy?
Oh gosh, I feel like this is not really my genre. Um, it's
Is-
terrible that I don't have an answer. This is like truly not my genre. I really enjoy every film version of Pride and Prejudice that has been made, and
Okay,
they are very funny in addition to being very romantic. So I guess I would say that's probably my go-to.
okay, that
But
is a
again, it's not really a rom-com, but it's close.
It's kind of a historical romantic
Yes.
comedy.
Yes.
So, is your favorite the BBC TV series?
It is, yes, but the Keira Knightley one is very, very, very good.
It is very good, right?
It
I
is
was a
very
little
good.
skeptical because I'm like a Colin Firth diehard
Yeah.
fan where I'm like, original only. But then I saw that one, I was like, okay,
No, it's
all right.
very good. We've got, Fools Rush In. Is that
That's with
Matthew
Matthew
Perry?
Perry
Okay.
and who else is in it? I think it's
Oh, is Legally Blonde a rom-com? I love Legally Blonde. It
I
kind of
would
is,
it kind of is because
but it's
there's a love story there.
yeah, we can go
Yeah.
with maybe that.
Okay,
I
Legally
think it's
Blonde.
just not my, like, genre in general, like, the romance part of it, I think,
Yeah.
doesn't connect with me a lot of times, but
Yeah. Salma
they're fun to
Hayek, that's
watch.
who's in it, who's in Fools Rush
Selma
In.
Hayek, okay.
There you go. Love her. Okay. Well, I'm gonna switch up my questions then. Okay. But you know actresses. So
Yes.
since we're a female forward company, who's like your favorite leading lady?
So, if we're talking especially if we're looking at, like, rom-com type
Yeah,
movies,
like heart, like love, kind of, you know.
I really love Julia Roberts, and I know she's not, like, maybe the most current or the most modern, but I think she's, like, the best at that role.
Did you watch her new movie with George Clooney?
Uh, no, so that one I have not watched yet. It's on the
Okay.
list.
So I've loved her. I've watched her like
Yeah.
all of her movies. And so this one like gave me like old school rom-com
Okay, good, I will
feel.
watch it.
And George Clooney and her have like the best chemistry. So you're like, and it's
Yeah,
awesome.
I just really enjoy her, I think, as an actor, and that's sort of, like, her biggest genre, so I would say maybe Julia Roberts.
Okay.
Classic.
Classic, classic. I kind of am like a Reese Witherspoon also.
Ooh,
Speaking of Legally
yeah.
Blonde, Reese Witherspoon, I love her rom-coms as well. So,
That's a good
and she
choice.
has a new one. Not that I'm advertising or working for Netflix, but she does have a new one with Ashton Kutcher, which
So
I'm
I saw that.
halfway through.
I saw that on my Netflix page. I am not 100% on board with Ashton Kutcher, I think, but
Yeah.
I would give it a shot. It might be good for, like, cardio or something.
Okay. Just see, I put like cheesy stuff on the gym that I don't at the gym, so I don't
Uh-huh.
have to like pay attention too much.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of those movies, I think.
Alright.
All right. So I know we talked about candy. You have the sweethearts
Mhm.
in the background. So if you got either a big box of chocolate, what kind of chocolate? If you eat chocolate, what kind of chocolate would it be? Or another type of candy for Valentine's Day, what would it be?
So I do eat chocolate. I like things that well, as I had I was I on the stream when I said this? I might have just said it to you personally. I can't remember. My absolute favorite candy, I think it was on the stream, was is black licorice. Black licorice flavored anything, be it the actual black licorice, be it Good and Plenty's, which is black licorice covered with like a shell, like an M&M shell. And so I was in heaven when I spent time in Denmark. Black licorice, salted black licorice
That's so
is
popular
yeah. So
in Europe
loved
in
it.
general.
Yeah. That is my absolute favorite flavor is black licorice, which I know
Oh
is
my
probably not
gosh.
a Valentine's candy
That
or a
is
favorite anywhere.
that's not my favorite ever, so that's okay.
But I do like chocolate, but I have to say if you're looking at like the box of chocolates, like the stereotypical
Yeah, like
the
nuts
variety.
and chews from C's Candy. I don't
Yes.
know.
So like I like crunchy and chewy things. I would go for that over like I'm not a big fan of the like the fluffy ones, like a cream, like a fluffy that they've got like marshmallows and like strawberry
Okay.
creams and stuff. Those are not my favorite. I
Like
like a little
nougat, like you don't like nougat kind of
so
thing?
nougat is on the border because sometimes it's kind of chewy and I like a chewy like a caramel. I
Yeah.
don't really like the soft.
Sometimes it's fluffy though.
Yeah, yeah. So it depends.
Oh,
But I
it's
like
catchy.
the nuts, chocolate covered nuts, that kind of stuff. I think I prefer the texture of those.
Okay. So like my favorite is chocolate covered strawberries. I know it's
Ooh.
super, but it has to be dark chocolate, not milk chocolate, not
Oh.
white chocolate, not like a mixture, dark chocolate. Um,
So you like a
and
little less sweet.
I like a little less sweet. Well, the strawberries are super sweet already.
Yeah,
So
but
then
the
it
the
does
chocolate is a little
the dark
more
chocolate is a
bitter.
little
Yeah.
bitter. Or I could do just like a basic I love chocolate covered marshmallows as well. Like
Mm.
like uh anything like uh like a sometimes I think C's Candy has like the s'mores where you have like the graham cracker and it's covered in chocolate with the marshmallow, and that's like one of my faves.
Do you like the different textures with the
I
chocolate as
like the
opposed to just the
textures and I like
chocolate?
how it's together. Like you get a
Mm.
little bit of everything.
Oh, now that you mentioned See's candies, I really like their butterscotch lollipops. It's a very particular
Me
candy, but if
too.
someone gave me a box of those as a gift, I would not be complaining.
You need a bouquet of C's Candy butterscotch lollipops, you guys.
Yeah.
Get on that.
They have some other flavors of the lollipops. The butterscotch one
Oh,
is the best,
butterscotch
but,
is the
like,
best.
in general, they're like it's almost like a it's almost like a caramel on a stick, like a hard like, it's so much it's not like a lollipop, like a Tootsie Pop or a what do you call it? Like a Dum Dum lollipop that you get at the
Yeah,
bank.
it's like
It's not like
solid.
that. It's like a candy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love those, and those last forever, so you can have them. Like, those are gonna be like the Twinkies that are, left over, like, 10 years later.
Westside says, "Try the new Twix cookie dough." I've seen
Oh,
those. They have those at the convenience store, but I've not tried
oh,
them.
okay. Oh, I'm not eating candy right now, so this is a really hard discussion. Front row says dark chocolate coffee and a cigar.
Dark chocolate
Um,
is always a good pick,
it's
though.
always a good pick because it's actually good for you. It has antioxidants, so it's healthy.
Well, and, like, I find that even dark chocolate that isn't, like, the best dark chocolate is still good, whereas if you have, like, a milk chocolate that is kind of a crappy version, it's not good. Like, it's
Ooh.
not as good. So
Bob Burger, I bake macarons. A vanilla
oh,
chow with a chocolate ganache filling goes hard.
again, there's that textural difference.
Mm, okay, all right. Well, thank you all so much.
Yes.
We're gonna have to figure out who was the most active in the chat and send some Valentine's Day treats your way. We'll probably send you a message in the Mission Pro. So look for a message in the um, Mission Pro messages. and we'll get something out to you guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes,
Veda, I know you're about to go on a stream, so we
I
want to let you
am.
go. So let everyone know, you can hop on and hang out with her.
Yeah, so oh, hold on, I just got my foot caught and pulled my ear things out. Hi. Okay, so I am actually, like, literally right now, as soon as I get off this, about to switch onto Twitch. I am at twitch.tv/Veda Scott. I'm sure some of you probably already follow. If not, shoot me a follow. Join us for the stream. You can just hang out. You can just kind of chill for a while. I stream 1 or 2 times a week, and then my husband, Speedball Mike Bailey, is going to join me on the Valentine stream, and they stream more times. So, yeah, give us a follow, and we will be back next week, I believe.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with a special guest. So follow Mission Pro Wrestling for that announcement. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.